Okay, I'm gonna do a quick little product review. Hopefully the dogs don't go crazy this time. I've already done this video twice. Okay, so good product. This is the Smart Buddie booster pump from AquaticLife. This thing is awesome. And I got the RO water system. I've always had it. I changed out the filters, moved to a new spot, but we're running off of well water, and the well water was not strong enough to actually do the job for the RO Buddie system. And the membrane wasn't doing its job. So the water here in Texas is really hard. It's got lots of limestone. So I have purchased this filter to see if it will help the RO water system. And I'm still using it, but the only thing about it is it's always leaking this black sediment. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is the brand for it, Camco. And these guys state that they're certified and everything. This is for our water, not our water, RVs, and also for trailers. So these are supposed to be like really good. And so when I was using this, every time I use it, it always leaks out black sediment. And so you can kind of see it. This was all white. This was just like 2 days ago I changed it out. And I had one that was still okay, and it still needed to be changed out. So it continuously leaks the sediment, and I don't know if that's normal, if it's supposed to even do that. So good thing I have the sediment. My goal is to try to get another one of these, which is supposed to be a pre-filter, but I use it for my waste. And the waste comes back out, goes into here, and gets fed back into the main line at a lower rate of the pump is sucking. And so it comes through, goes into comes out this filter, that blue one, comes out, enters into all the pre-filters. The pre-filters then get brought back into here, brought back out, and then the waste comes into here, and then this is for the when it comes out the membrane. So this right here goes into the barrel with the stop float, and this one right here gets hooked up into here from the top of your RO water membrane. Actually, no, it's this one, because it comes back out of your sediment over here, and then when it comes back out is when it goes into your membrane. And so it's already time to do a new filter for this. This one got tapped out when I purchased it. It was supposed to put your TDS at exactly 0, and it did a good job for the first day, but this only lasted literally 2 hours when I was using it. It was all black, and so when you actually use this, you're supposed to change it when it changes color, and it looks like it's time for it to go. So this is supposed to be on the exit out for your RO, but I went ahead and just used it as a extra filter that it has to go through, and it's still gonna do its job somewhat, especially with all this black sediment that's coming through. But yeah, that blue one, I don't know if it's defected or what, but I can't really give a good review on that until I get maybe like a second one. And it's a 2-piece, so the original is just a tube that hooks up to that top piece right there, and that top piece is I think it was like 500 microns that it allows to go through, and it's supposed to help the water taste good and all this other stuff. And I don't think water tastes good would taste good with that sediment flying through it like that. And so I don't know if it needs a constant stable pressure. Didn't say anything about it on the box. So I'll try out one last time before I just say fuck that and just, excuse my French, and just use what I have, because now that I have this, it's given the correct amount of pressure. So my pressure when it was coming out, it was at 35 to 40 psi, and then it would probably be even more or less. I was using this to kind of measure it, and it never went past the 40. It maybe one time it did, and everybody had been out and working, and so nobody was here to use the restroom. And I'm guessing from the well, it creates pressure once the tank is completely full, and then it will allow you to have more pressure throughout the rest of the house. But we've been having hard water problems and a lot of calcium buildup, like say in the shower heads and our valves and everything. So it's been a pain in the butt. Texas has very hard water. That's the only thing that I dislike about Texas. But other than that, this kind of saved my butt. And I got lucky. A lovely couple was selling this off of Facebook, and they said it wasn't used, but I think it maybe was tried, or maybe got used for a little bit, but it's practically nearly brand new. And they said they get things brand new and they resell them. And so they got their hands on this, and I went, and it was like it was all meant to be. I had been stressing about my discus, and I was like, I want to breed them. They're already adult size almost, and I kind of feel like I failed them throughout their whole first period of their life, and then coming up to their following young adulthood, going back to such hard water conditions, and it changed their colors too. They were a little bit more darker, but the darker they get usually means that there's some kind of bacteria issue. And the first cold that we got here, I got 2 discus that got real sick. One's still showing, one of the domestics are still showing a black line on their eye, and I still have them inside the other tank because I can't breed them. They were rescues. They're the white rims, red covers, the albino looking ones with the real deep red, and they have chipped eyes. They're lovely fishes, big. They love eating. They're thick. They're really big. I wouldn't mind breeding them, but it's the chipped eye. And so the chipped eyes is genetic, and I don't want that to be in my fish's genetics, the fawn genetics. Getting it out of a genetic is harder than getting something into it, and it's already hard enough to get certain kind of genetics out of the fishes you want. So with that being said, I was like, I need to keep them separate. Maybe as a side experiment, I could try and maybe breed out the chipped eyes, but it's not worth my time. There's also, so the fish that I have, the wilds, they're from Hans discus, and even then there's still things about those fishes that I'm not liking within their genetics. So I'm looking at all of them now, adults, and trying to see what I could do different to make them a little bit more better. And I'm thinking about looking to get high grade, and paying the extra money just for them as adults. And I don't know, that would be another video. But right now I'm going to school, and so I was really stressing getting this because it's almost like $200, and I got lucky, found it for $70, and for it to be barely used, apparently, right, that's a steal. So this has already been running for about an hour, no problems, everything's still going. Let's see how much is filled up. So yeah, that's a good amount. It's about 5 gallons, almost 10 gallons just within an hour. It's a lot more better when I was in the city. When I was using it, it wasn't even doing this type of push. So I think it's working good. I don't know if you guys can see that. I should have probably washed this out before I set it back up, but I figured it was okay because it was zipped up. And I don't know how that guy got in, because when it's zipped up, there's literally no way to get into this except for that. So I don't know if he lived like most of his life in here and just died, but that's a pretty big guy. So I need as soon as the water level goes up, I'll be able to strain out and take out whatever with a fishnet, what's not supposed to be in there. And yeah, I feel kind of bad for him, but it's been a process. So the water coming out was reading a 8 of a TDS. I'll test it here in a bit again to see what it reads. But yeah, if you're having well problems and you got discus fish, I would suggest to get something similar to this setup, because this is a big game changer right here. If you have high water pressure already, you won't need something like that. But it's still good to have, just in case you ever move, or just in case you have too much pressure. I believe this will regulate that pressure, or getting yourself something like this before the hookup to regulate the pressure. The wastewater is highly recommended that you do not feed back in, but like I said, with another sediment filter of it running through and then getting back fed into it, it's been holding up for an hour now. And I'll check the TDS, like I said, again, and if anybody has questions, just let me know. This is a very easy setup. It's very straightforward. There's a lot of videos on there online about how to do it, so it's not a stressful thing to do. It looks stressful, trust me. I was like, what am I doing? So it's easier than what it looks. This is a very awesome machine. I have to recommend it, highly recommended, the whole setup. And my next video will be a month's worth of a review, and hopefully by then I'll be able to switch out all these filters again, and I'll give a more accurate and more stable reading. I know running it without this probably damaged a lot and used up a lot of the filter life on this, so that's another thing to be warned about, which is why I had gotten that filter. So still gotta do a second review on that. If it kills another sediment filter, I'm never buying this again. And this is Camco, this is AquaticLife. So it's very important stuff, because you don't want to spend money trying to put a pre-water softener filter just for your RO system. So another thing to think about is also that black sediment is something that's used to filter. So maybe it's not gonna kill, maybe it's not killing it as like I'm thinking, but with the amount of black sediment that does come out, it will clog up your filters. And so that's another thing to consider. So hopefully everything works out, and much love, YouTube, much love. This is a product review for this, so awesome. I highly recommend it.